Hello everybody watching on YouTube and welcome to race number 17 of Season 10 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, a.k.a. Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. Excuse me. Here to welcome you to the Pepsi 400 here at Daytona International Speedway. We are back to the track that we kicked off the season with. And this is going to be an exciting 24-lap event here at the Great American Raceway. Well, this is the home of the Great American Race, but anyways. Before we look at the lineup, let's look at how the top 20 in the points look coming into the race tonight. Peachy London leads the points by 19 points over Michael Norman. Third is Matt Skoenberger. Fourth is Zach Rogers. However, for those who hadn't seen the replacement draw, Zach Rogers left the NNSCRA due to reasons we're not going to discuss in this video. He decided to leave the series, and now he has a replacement named Daniel Olson now in the 9 car for the remaining races of the season. So Zach Rogers, while 4th in points, he is going to start dropping in points here tonight. 5th is Austin Mongold, 6th is Jesse Setti, 7th Tim Walsh, 8th Matt McIntyre, 9th Carson Gum, 10th Joshua Collard. And Chase Oliver's tied with Collard for 10th. So the rest of the top 20 is Steven Guerrero, David Rivera, Anthony McCreary, Charles Sanford, Dylan Young, Kyle Matthews, James McLeod, Trent Dunham, who's on the pole tonight, and James Qualls. So that is how the top 20 in the points look coming into the race tonight. Pretty exciting stuff. But anyways, excuse me, again, phlegm. Anyway, so look at the lineup. Again, sorry. Michael Norman, Joseph Strigley starting in the last row. Starting in the top 10, Trent Dunham is on the pole. Next to him is Charles Sanford. Row 2 is Dorian Facepuncher and Johnny Gardner. Row 3 is Charles Jackson and Sean Galligan. Row 4, Dylan Young and Matt McIntyre. And then row 5, Peachy London and the newcomer, Daniel Olson. So with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. Cars rolling out for their one pace lap. So we are getting set to go 24 laps of racing here at Daytona in the Pepsi 400. This is going to be quite exciting for a lot of people, especially since now we have only, starting tonight, 10 races left until the chase for the championship. So we're getting down to the wire as far as who's going to make the chase and who isn't going to make the chase. But also, wildcard spots are going to be very important. And right now, those 2 wildcard drivers would be Charles Sanford for having 2 wins outside the top 10, and Chase Oliver. Actually, no, Chase Oliver would be in the top 10 because there ain't no tiebreakers in the series in that regard. So the other wildcard driver actually would be Kyle Matthews for being the highest in points outside the top 10 that isn't tied for 10th with a win. Kind of bunched up back there, but now they're getting back on track. So now the pace car, damn it, phlegm, what can I tell you? Pace car will now pull in the pit road. which means it's time to get this race underway. And here we go. Boogity, 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 let's go racing. Charles Sanford leads lap number 1, and Charles Sanford actually is a defending winner of this track. He won the Daytona 500 earlier this season, so he's going to try to go for the Daytona sweep here in Season 10 Walmart Cup. But he's got some competition behind him. Dorian Facepuncher right on his back bumper, but now here comes former Daytona 500 winner Charles Jackson, now up here into second with help from Sean Galligan. And there's a wreck. Caution is out. A lot of cars damaged. Connor Morgan's got damaged. Steven Guerrero, Anthony McCurry went spinning, and Connor Morgan hit the wall and then it comes back down, slams into James McLeod. Some damage on William Duncan's machine. Some damage to Nathan Hudson, John Cittadino. Caution is out for the first time tonight here at Daytona for a multi-car incident in turns 3 and 4. So, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the first time tonight here at Daytona. Well, here's a look at what happened. Up ahead, you see Steven Guerrero in the middle. Cittadino had a run, but he got a little tight. He came up into both Steven and McLeod. And then as they come back across the track, some take some hard hits into the outside wall. And then cars just running into the back of each other. Anthony McCurry was in there. Connor Morgan ran into the back of somebody. And they all just made some pretty hard contact on the outside wall. And then right there, McLeod's going to turn Connor Morgan into the outside wall, and then Connor Morgan comes back down and slams into James McLeod. So maybe a little rivalry right there between Connor Morgan and James McLeod as a result of this mess. But some cars going through the grass to avoid some troubles. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Daytona. Well, after that first caution, we have 3 cars out of the race, and they include Steven Guerrero, Connor Morgan, and James McLeod as a result of that caution. But with that being said, let's take a look and see the field when we get back to racing. Charles Sanford leads the way. Second is Charles Jackson. Third is Sean Galligan. Fourth, Dorian Facepuncher. Fifth is Pichu London. Sixth is Joshua Collard. Seventh is Austin Mongold. Eighth, Dylan Young. Ninth, Tanner Sullivan. 10th, John Arndt. 11th is Jonathan Zorline. 12th is Devin Becker. 13th, DJ Curtis. 14th, Trent Dunham. 15th, Dylan Thoreau. 16th is Johnny Gardner. 17th is Chris Washer. 18th is Nick Alton. 19th, Matt McIntyre. 20th, Carson Gunn. 21st, Daniel Olson. 22nd is Tim Walsh. 23rd is James Qualls. 24th, Preston Plord. 25th, Jake Baskinger. 26th is Jessica Sheldon. 27th is Kyle Matthews. 28th, Seth Cole. 29th is Kyle Keith. 30th, David Rivera. 31st, Nathan Hudson. 32nd is Jesse Setti. 33rd is Joseph Strigley. 34th, Matt Skoenberger. 35th, Michael Norman. 36th, John Cittadino. 37th, Chase Oliver. 38th, William Duncan. And 39th is Anthony McCrory. So I can tell not only will the top 5 in points be shaken up as a result, but also that battle to get in the top 30 in points is going to be shaken up too, because Connor Morgan's wrecked and he came in only 1 point ahead of 31st. So that's going not good for the 81 car. Green flag is back out with 18 laps to go. Still a long way to go here in this race. Sanford leads, but now he might lose that lead because here comes Charles Jackson. It's the battle of the Charles. Galligan giving a nice push to the 11 car. Kind of weird since they're on completely different teams. Dorian Facepuncher trying to get up there. It's basically friends are where you find them pretty much. Although Collard has got a teammate up here. Or actually, Galligan's got a teammate, Joshua Collard. Joseph Strigley, their other teammate's a little bit further back. Yeah, he's way in the back as a result. Galligan now to the lead. And he's going to lead this lap. Joshua Collard trying to get up there to help his teammate keep the lead, or maybe go for it himself, but now he's going to get split in the middle, 3 wide with Facepuncher and Mongold. Dylan Young trying to get up there, and Dylan Young, despite he got a good finish at Michigan, it's been mainly either 3 of the last 4 races or 4 of the last 5 races. Dylan Young has just had some rough luck as of late, but maybe he can turn it all around here with a good finish today here at Daytona. Though he did get a good run at Michigan last week, he ended up getting wrecked. And it made him drop to 16th in points, the defending champion. Look at this battle going on from second on back. Galligan's starting to pull away, but that's not a good thing. Jonathan Zorleen is now to second with John Art pushing him. Devin Becker, Daniel Olson are all in that inside line. And whoa, they went on below the apron. Below the yellow line, that could have been disastrous. Devin Becker with help from Daniel Olson trying to get going as well. It is 3 wide and many rows deep from Olson on back to Trent Dunham, it looks like. Galligan still leads, but Zorleen and Arndt are right behind him. It's getting really aggressive here, and we're not even at the halfway point just yet. Johnny Gardner trying to get up there with help from his good friend James Qualls. Look at Daniel Olson, one of the guys we've been talking about this week as a result of the whole Zach Rogers situation. Olson replacing Rogers in the 9 car for a new team name of Evernham Motorsports instead of Bulldog Motorsports. Olson right now having a great run, running in 3rd right now. But it's still a long way to go. Now he's going to go for 2nd underneath of Zorleen. And it was a dead heat at the line. Imagine if that would have been the battle for the win on the last lap. That would have been amazing. 3 wide for the 4th spot with Sheldon, Qualls, and John Hart. But now it's situated out to double wide. Few stragglers in the back. Duncan, McCrory, Cittadino, Chase Oliver, Matt Skoenberger lost a draft. And Jesse said he's on the tail end of that draft. So Skoenberger is hoping and praying for a caution to come out so he can be back up here with the pack. And now look at Daniel Olson. Now he's to the lead. First lap led in his Walmart Cup career for that newcomer. Daniel Olson, he's relatively new to the NR community, so I don't really know much about him. But he's here in the Walmart Cup, and he's already making a great impression up to the front here at Daytona. And he qualified his way in since, as a result of Rogers leaving the 9, now the 9 car is going to have to try and qualify their way into the rest of the races. Jessica Sheldon to 2nd. And look at the guy in third place right now. Nick Alton's up here. Charles Sanford, Sheldon's teammate, up to fourth. And Sanford's still trying to go for that Daytona sweep. Kyle Matthews, the third out of the four Retro Racing Enterprises car. He's in the top 10, but he's stuck in the middle. Now up high. Charles Sanford now trying to get the bottom to go. But now he's going to have to slide back in line behind Nick Alton. Daniel Olson continues to lead the way here at Daytona. Matt Schoenberger's definitely lost a draft. He is way behind, so he is definitely hoping a caution were to come out and he can get back up here in the pack. Jesse said he's on the tail end of that pack, so this main pack is only about 3 seconds within one another. And look at this, Preston Plord now up here in the top 5, and Preston Plord has been having some rough luck as of late. He ended up falling out of the top 30 in points. He's 32nd in points, but luckily for him, he has Champions Provisional for being a past champion, so he's still good to go to make races. But if he stayed outside the top 30 and won a race or two, he would not be able to make the chase because he wouldn't be eligible. Charles Sanford still trying to get by Nick Alton. Now I think he is going to get around him, and he's getting help from Preston Plord. Daniel Olson right now doing an excellent job of holding off Jessica Shelton to keep the lead, as it's now less than 10 laps to go. Here in the Pepsi 400, Nick Alton now trying to go by Preston Plord with help from Johnny Gardner. Joseph Strigley trying to get up here. Kyle Matthews trying to do the same thing. Michael Norman currently way ahead of Pichu London, so this could be a big points gain for the 3 team. If he can finish more than 19 spots ahead of Pichu London, he could take the points lead over going into Chicago next week. So yeah, next week we head to Chicagoland Speedway for the Tropicana 400, and that should be an interesting race. Battle on for second between 2 of the 4 Retro Racing Enterprises team cars, Charles Sanford and Jessica Shelton. But Sanford ends up falling back in line behind the 02. 2 of the Richard Petty Motorsports cars are running right now in the top 10. Strigley and Galligan. The only one that's missing is Joshua Collard, and he's in the near the very back of the main pack, as it's kind of spread out a little bit to turning into mostly double wide to single file right now. And now the pack's kind of grown from being 3 seconds now a 4-second gap between first and last in the draft. Daniel Olson just doing a good job of playing it smart in his first ever Walmart Cup race. He must have watched tapes or clips of the races before here at Daytona, and he's doing a good job of holding off legends in the series like Sheldon and Sanford. Battle on for the 4th spot. Sean Galligan with some help from Joseph Strigley trying to get by Nick Alton for position. Oh, but the leaders are going to catch some slower cars momentarily. William Duncan and Anthony McCrory. That's going to be interesting. 3 wide for the 5th position with Qualls, Strigley, and Alton. Zorline trying to get up here as well. And look at Jake Baskinger. We haven't really talked about him all night. He's up here in the top 10, I think. Or close to the top 10. He's right up here. Yeah, he is in the top 10 now. Baskinger the winner at Martinsville, I believe. And now they are rapidly catching those 2 slower machines of McCrory and Duncan. Oh, and they're going to battle in front of the leaders. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. Here comes Sheldon down low. Sheldon is going to take the lead from Daniel Olson. Charles Sanford got forced up high as a result. So now Jessica Sheldon takes the lead thanks to help from the lap machines holding up the 9 car. Now this main draft has kind of gotten back to being a bunched up mess again. But they need to be careful around the 61 and the 99 because that could cause a big one if they're not careful around those guys. Tough break for Daniel Olson. He thought he could have held off everybody. Oh, and we got a crash! Strigley is around. Gardner's around. Oh, and now there goes more cars. DJ Curtis, Matt McIntyre. Pichu London spinning. Though I don't think any of those cars hit any walls or nothing. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get back to green flag racing or not. Caution is out with 4 laps to go. If we do get back going, it could be a 1-lap shootout, or this race is going to end under caution. I don't know. It's going to be very, very close. But yeah, no, it doesn't look like any cars, although Strigley got some driver's side dents. Could be from some contact, but other than that, those guys are pretty much fine. So it was just a bunch of spin outs that happened. But let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the second time tonight here at Daytona. Well, it looks like Kyle Keith and Johnny Gardner thought about making it 4 wide off of turn 2. But it don't work, and Kyle Keith ends up being a meat in the sandwich between Gardner and Strigley, and that sends both of those cars, Strigley and Gardner, to go around. And then right there, DJ Curtis gets into Pichu London, sending both himself and the 17 around, and then Matt McIntyre gets contact, and that sends him spinning. So luckily, it just looked like as if they all just went for a bunch of random slides and spins, but they didn't hit nothing as far as any walls. Right there, we almost had another wreck with Devin Becker and Jesse Setti. Luckily, they were able to keep it together. But luckily, with that happening, hopefully we get back to green flag racing. So let's take you to what could be the final restart of the night or the white flag lap. Well, no cars retired out of the race after that caution, but we aren't going to be able to get back to racing, so the race is going to be over when we get to the line. And we are almost there to the line. But what a race it was, and it was such a good race, but unfortunately it ends under caution. Checkered flag is waving. Crossing the line first will be Jessica Sheldon. Jessica Sheldon wins the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. And that's her 11th career win in the series. The 2-time champion wins here at Daytona. So, great job. But even though Charles Sanford didn't win tonight, the team of Retro Racing Enterprises swept Daytona this season. That's an accomplishment. But anyways, let's look at the rest of the results. James Qualls comes away with a great finish in the 2nd position. Great run for Sean Galligan in 3rd. Solid 4th place run for Jonathan Zorline. Great top 5 run for Tim Walsh. Nick Alton with a great run in the 6th position. Solid 7th place run for Jake Baskinger. And how about rookie Daniel Olson? The highest finishing rookie comes away 8th in his debut race in the Walmart Cup, but was the dominant car of the night until he caught the lap traffic, and that took the shot of a win away from him. But still, great run for him. Solid 9th place run for Preston Plord. Great 10th place finish for Seth Cole. Rest of the top 20, Trent Dunham, Dylan Thoreau, Charles Sanford, Chris Washer, Michael Norman, Carson Gum, Nathan Hudson, Dorian Facepuncher, Charles Jackson, Austin Mongold. Rest of the top 30, Kyle Matthews, Joshua Collard, Kyle Keith, John Arndt, Tanner Sullivan, Jesse Setti, Devin Becker, David Rivera, Dylan Young, Johnny Gardner. Rest of the cars that finished on the lead lap were Joseph Strigley, DJ Curtis, Matt McIntyre, Matt Skoenberger, Pichu London, John Cittadino, and Chase Oliver. 2 cars a lap down, Anthony McCreary and William Duncan. Everybody else was out of the race after the first caution that came out. Steven Guerrero, Connor Morgan, and James McLeod. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to the Pepsi 400 here at Daytona. Next week we head to Chicagoland Speedway for the Tropicana 400, and that's going to be quite the exciting race when we get there. But anyways, here are your results, rookie points and regular points heading into Chicago, and this is Levi McIntyre signing off.